I think the great contemporary challenge now that thankfully, and we all have our own interpretation of how we've arrived at that happy condition, but I won't go into that at the moment. But now that we're in a prosperous and good budgetary position in this country, the great contemporary challenge is to end the waiting lists for assessments of our children for a number of conditions such as autism, dyspraxia, dyslexia, etc., all of those assessments, and to end the waiting lists there, to also improve the services after the ending of that waiting list, and indeed to end the waiting list and similarly intervene in CAMS. So I think two initiatives have been taken by government in this regard, which I welcome. One is the special cabinet subcommittee set up by An Taoiseach on disabilities and dealing with that. And the other, of course, is the greater investment in places for health professionals, because one of the issues here is capacity, is the number of speech therapists, the number of psychologists, etc. We lack the number of professionals. So I think a huge new emphasis has to go on this, and a bit like we have to use initiatives such as involving private professionals, indeed if it involves using cross-border initiatives, indeed east-west, any initiatives that will get the waiting lists down, and then any initiative that will encourage and improve the number of professionals we have to deal with them. There's a dearth there, and there is a problem with the difference in conditions in Section 39 personnel and government, straight government people who are paid directly from the ministry. So I just think that it behoves us in the Seanad to give this issue priority at a time when we're in a position to deal with it, and to debate it and to look at creative solutions as to how we can deal with it. Because as a number of us in this House have a background in education, if we don't intervene very quickly with children, the results are catastrophic if there's not an early intervention. And if there's not an early intervention with teenagers with psychological difficulties, etc., and sometimes psychiatric issues, again, it's even more catastrophic with some awful results. So I think this is an important area. I'm asking the leader to see how could we go about dealing with it as a House, how could we have rolling debates on it, and how could it be put top of the agenda at a time when we are in a position to deal with it and should tackle it. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.